Welcome, everybody. I really appreciate you guys being here. And I have got some great information to share with all of you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jane Bruce. When I started my research in the area of spirituality, I attended all sorts of classes, I got all sorts of certifications, and I couldn't wait to go out, share my gift, and make a living at it. Even with all my background and all my experience, after I ran through my friends and my relatives, I just sat there without paying clients. And I wasn't sure what to do, where to go. I mean, I had my certificates on the wall. I had really cute business cards. I had matching desk accessories. I had it all, except I didn't have customers. And that's when I realized that there was a real disconnect from what I had learned in corporate America to what there was in the world of spirituality. And I am of the belief that we need as many people sharing the light is as absolutely possible. And if we can make a living at it, that will only encourage more and more of us to get out there and share our gifts. So it is my wish that light workers are able to have fulfilling careers doing what they do best and make a great living out of it as well. So, what we're going to do today, manifesting clients on the whole. Where to begin with that? We can't manifest what we don't know what we're looking for. So, the very first part of all of this is my question to you is do you know who you're looking for, who your ideal client is? Now, way back when I started in radio, I was told if they're breathing and they're still warm to the touch, they're a client, they're a prospect, they're a possibility. Uh, no, wrong. That's not who we're looking for. So, what I really want you to do is in broad terms, there's four things that you really want to make sure that you've got narrowed down. One is, are they young or are they old? What kind of age bracket is your ideal client group in? Is it kids? Is it young adults? Is it middle age? Is it retired? Young or old? The next part of the equation is rich poor. What kind of economic bracket are you looking at? And that is important because you want people that are going to be able to afford your fees, and you're going to want to set your fees according to who your target audience is. So, are you looking at an upscale audience? Are you looking at a economically challenged audience? Who are you looking for as far as what kind of economics they're from? And the next one is near or far. Are you looking at people in your own backyard or are you going global, i.e., digital? Are you going Zoom? And the last one is gender, male, female. Is your primary client going to be more male or more female? Now, granted, you're not turning anybody away. I get that. But when you're manifesting and when you're targeting, you want that picture of that ideal person. So, in a recap, what you want to be able to identify is your ideal client. Are they young, old, rich, poor, near, far, male, or female? Once you have those things clear in your mind, this is where now our imagination is going to come in. I want you, out of that broad demo that you just chose for yourself, pick one person in your imagination that is your perfect client and give that person, whether it's male or female, a name. And then take a few minutes and write out their life story. Who is this person? Where do they live? What do they do for a living? Who's their family? Let's say you have chosen a female 50 years old. Is she married? Is she widowed? Is she divorced? Is she employed? Is she a stay-at-home? Is she retired? Where does she eat? Where does she shop? What are her hobbies? And again, you're just making all of this up. But this in your head is helping you clarify who that person is. Because if you've got that idea in your head, that is putting your focus and your attention to attracting that type of person to you. Next, in manifesting our ideal clients is our mindset. And our mindset, as we all know, is absolutely critical. It's not as easy as we think it is. Are you coming from a place right now from abundance? When you're thinking about your business or about the business that you want to open, is your first thought, there's so many people out there, how am I going to manage all my clients? Or is your thought, oh my goodness, how much competition do I have? There's not that many people. Where am I going to find them? This is really key because if when you're relaxing and you're thinking about your business, if your thoughts are, where are these people coming from versus, oh, how am I going to handle everybody? It's going to make a huge difference on how many people you're talking to a day. So remember, there are a bazillion people out there. There are more than enough people who have a need for what you're offering. Competition? What competition? There's only one you, and only you offer the special gift that you have. Granted, there are a zillion people that read tarot cards. There's all sorts of people who teach yoga. You can go and look in the phone book for grief counselors. There's a lot of people who sound like they do the exact same thing that you do, but they don't. Only you bring your personality and your connection. Is everybody going to gravitate towards you? No. But let me ask you this. Do you like everybody? I don't. I mean, I try to, but there are people that get me, and there are people who just don't get me at all. Why do I want a person who doesn't get me as a client? That's setting all of us up to fail. I want people that like me. And if they don't like me, I'm really thrilled that there's other places that they can go. When my boys were little and growing up, they were always fighting over cookies. And we had a saying at the house that there was no cookie shortage in America. It didn't matter who got the last cookie because there are lots of cookies in the world, people. We we will get more cookies. There you have all the cookies you need. The trick is you've got to be able to find them. But start with the mindset of abundance. There's more people that have what you're offering than just you can handle. You have your pick of clients. The next thing in mindset and attracting the right clients is your feelings about money. If you're hung up on whether or not it's spiritual to charge people for your services, I really suggest that you step back and do a little bit of personal work before you move into starting your own business. We do live in a world where the fair exchange is financial, dollars and cents. Nobody wants to feel like they're being handed charity. We want to be in a place where we're getting a fair energy exchange, and in our case, that is financial. Also, we all deserve to have a good living. We do hard work, we give everything we've got to our clients, and in return, we are rewarded accordingly. And you have to be comfortable with that, and you have to respect that. Because if you're feeling uneasy, that does come across. And again, In the art of manifesting, if you're feeling like you're charging too much, you're putting it out to the universe that people should really reconsider working with you. You don't want to do that. You want to fully believe that you are worth everything that somebody is paying for your services. And a couple of little things that I'll throw out on this fact is one is people do not pay you in our type of business for time. What they're paying you for is for your knowledge and your experience. You can get a hamburger at McDonald's, right? You can also get a hamburger at a very fancy steakhouse. They have hamburgers on the menu. The hamburger at McDonald's may cost you these days, I don't know, $7. At a great restaurant, you're going to pay $25. It is still a patty of meat between two pieces of bread. It's a hamburger. One is $7, one is $17. The price that you're paying is what is going into that burger, where you're having that burger, who's serving that burger, where you're sitting when you eat that burger, all of that. Moving on, I want to talk a few minutes about what you're really looking for when you're talking about having your own business, whether you're currently in it or whether you're looking to start it. The difference between a hobby and a business literally is making money. There is nothing wrong with having and being passionate about a hobby. If you are looking to make money, now you're moving from hobby into business. And business is a different type of commitment. Be really sure that you are up and ready to make that type of commitment. We're talking an emotional commitment. When you've got a hobby, if somebody doesn't like what you do or is not interested in it, we tend to laugh it off or not worry about it. When it's our business, our ego starts to get wrapped up in it and we start to take things really personally. You've got to make sure you've got the tough skin. You've got to have emotional commitment to it. And with that, do you have the conviction to do this and charge money for it? If you don't think that you are the best at what you do for your clients, seriously consider going back to a hobby. Now, I'm not saying that you're thinking you're the best in your field. I said you are giving your clients the best that you have to offer. To know in the little ends of your toes that you're really good at what you do. And you have to be able to stand up to that. Because if you don't have that conviction that you're really good and that you have a calling to be doing this, it's going to be really tough to weather the first storm that comes around. What kind of time do you have to give to this business? Now, it doesn't have to be full time. A lot of people will start out as a part time business. And if you've got financial obligations, that's absolutely what needs to be done. But make sure that you're very clear on what hours you've got to commit to a business, knowing that when we talk about hours, we're not just talking about the hours in front of clients. The time that we spend with our clients, that's like the jewel in our crown. That's what we live for. That's the fun part about doing our business. It takes time to get those people. It takes work to get those people. That's why it's a business, not a hobby. And you've got to have the hours, not just to do what you do, but you have to have the hours to make the contacts, to make the phone calls, to cultivate those clients. And the last one is making sure that your financial situation is one that can handle having your own business. In any business, it doesn't matter what it is, your first 6 months to a year is your ramping up. That is your startup time. If you have low expenses, your break even is going to come a lot quicker than if you've got expenses. Know what they are and know that you can still pay whatever it is that you have to pay, honor whatever obligations that you have to honor, because nobody wants to do business with somebody who is desperate. We've all walked into a store where you know within 5 seconds that that person is being paid on commission. We're not that obvious, but if we are feeling like, I only have 3 clients this month, it is going to come across. So make sure that you are financially covered till the point where you've got money coming in comfortably. Manifestation and law of attraction go hand in hand. What we think about, we bring about, no matter what you particularly want to call it. Like energy attracts like energy. But it doesn't necessarily happen when we're sitting on our couch. Everything requires action. We've got to have our mind, our head space in the right place, but the rest of us has to follow in line. We've got to make the phone calls. We've got to talk to people. We've got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You're not comfortable talking to people about what you do, reconsider. Again, there's nothing wrong with having a hobby. But if you're looking to make a comfortable living, you have got to put the energy forth. The last part, the support that we need. It takes a tribe. We, as spiritual light workers, regardless of what our particular service is, we can feel isolated very easily. Our family doesn't always understand what we do. Even our friends don't always understand what we do. Having a hobby and not having support is one thing. Having a business and not having a support is a major problem. You need a tribe, and there are plenty of tribes available. I have one myself, which is My Divine Business. It is a support group for spiritual entrepreneurs. It's on Facebook, My Divine Business. It's just a place where you can throw out ideas, make some new friends, and get some support. I really suggest you get a success sidekick. And a success sidekick is a fun way of saying, get a mentor, get somebody who has what you want. I mean, by has what you want, they have what you want in the way of their confidence, the way they handle themselves. They've got the client base that you would love to have. They're charging the prices that you would love to command. This is the person that you want as a mentor. The easiest way to get a mentor is to ask. Pick up the phone, call that person up that you admire, and just say, hey, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I got my own business and I have just been in awe of what you've been doing with your business. I was wondering if you would consider mentoring me, and then spell out the terms. Like, could we maybe talk on a weekly basis? Could we get together if they're local? Could we get together for coffee? Now, this does not have to be somebody who is in the spiritual industry, although it does help. Just because they can relate a little bit stronger. But basically, this is a person who usually is some sort of business owner, somebody who is successful, who can just help keep you on track. The difference between a success sidekick and your tribe is your tribe is going to give you support. Your tribe's going to say, Oh, Nicole, that's horrible. They shouldn't have been like that. You're right. They're wrong. They'll pump you up. Your sidekick is going to be someone who goes, um, let's talk about that. What part did you have in that situation? They're going to hold you accountable. Your tribe is going to cheer because you made 5 phone calls this week. They know how hard those phone calls are. They're thrilled for you. Your success sidekick is going to go, great job, but your goal was 10. What happened? We need tough love, guys. Pick somebody who can give you that tough love. And just a little helpful hint, it's best if they're not related to you. Just just saying. You don't need a husband, you don't need a sister, you don't need a kid, you don't need a parent. You need somebody objective, somebody who's in business, who's going to take the emotion out of the equation and deal with you as a business professional. And you've got your tribe then that you can turn to and go, you're not going to believe what my mentor just said I needed to do. And we'll all go and make you feel better, but you got to listen to your mentor. The last thing, and this falls under a homework that I want you guys to do, assemble your spiritual board of advisors. This is not live breathing people. Your spiritual advisory board is made up of angels, your spirit guides, somebody who was fabulous at what you did, but they no longer walk this earth. They're a great member of your spiritual board. On my spiritual board of advisors, don't laugh, I got Betty White on my board of advisors. And the reason why I have Betty White on my board of advisors is you talk about one kick ass lady. She started back when it wasn't easy for women in that industry. She took it all the way to the end. She was authentic. She was a good deed doer. I want her as somebody who will give me advice and ideas and talk to. I also want Archangel Raziel. I want Raziel because he's got the whole vision well beyond this universe. And I rely so much on magic, if you will, that I want Raziel on my board. I also have Louise Hayes on my board because, I mean, why wouldn't you want Louise Hayes on your board? And I have a couple of goddesses. I have Goddess Durga. Durga, if you don't know who Goddess Durga is, Google her. She rocks. She is awesome. These are the people that I call before I go to sleep at night, going, hey guys, I'd really like to have a board meeting tonight. I drift off to sleep. My board comes together. We discuss things. I wake up with a new perspective. You will really be grateful for the advice that you get. So come up, assemble your board of advisors. I'm going to move into the real fun stuff. I first realized I had a real problem the first time somebody said, so Jane, what is it that you do? Ah, ooh, ee. And I started kind of babbling a bunch of stuff together. I knew what I did. I didn't know how to explain it concisely, at least. I took some classes, learned these kind of involved ways of describing what you do, and they look really pretty in writing. On your website, you may indeed want something that's 3 or 4 sentences about how you're bringing happiness and joy through a deep dive into their psychic being and blah, blah, blah. I'm all for putting that on a website. People read completely different than they listen. People talk completely different than they write. First and foremost, before you do anything, you need to be really clear on who you are and what you do. Memorizing a written out statement is going to set you up to stumble, fumble, and fall. Reason why is if you've just memorized something, it's great if nobody interrupts you and it's the right person who's asking the question and you can just sort of spit it out. But as soon as anything goes a little sideways, you lose your place. You don't remember what it is, and then you're not remembering which word came before the which word. And am I bringing joy first, or am I bringing serenity into there? Well, I don't remember what I do. Oh yeah, I read tarot cards. We get hung up on the fluff. So let's talk about how we describe what it is that we do. When someone says, "What do?" You can use this as a way simply to give information. I'm a spiritual coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm a Reiki healer. Hi, nice to meet you. Cool. I'm an insurance agent. And speaking of insurance, who handles your stuff? You see what the insurance agent immediately did? Insurance agent uses what they do and immediately slides right over into how that affects what you do. I do not believe in telling people what I do by starting with a title. Titles typecast you, they limit you, and they tend to be dead end. Instead, I like to paint a picture of what I do. For example, if somebody, so Jane, what do you do? Have you ever had a time in your life, or maybe you know somebody who is just really struggling with all the noise that's going on in their head? It feels like you just can't think straight, that there's just so much stress and so much pressure, and all you want is just a little peace of mind. Sound like, somebody you might know? I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's me, that's blah, 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 blah." Well, that's what I do. I help people quiet the noises in their head, even if it's just for a half hour. You know what I'm describing? Somebody who teaches yoga. Now, after I have got their attention with the noises in their head, now we're talking about something they can relate to. Being stressed from the I turn down the noises in your head and I help people get some serenity, if even just for 20 minutes or a half hour. Either they're immediately going to say, "How do you do that?" Or I can say, I teach, I practice, I do this. So think in your business, broad scope, what real benefits do you bring that would be in an enticement to somebody to want to ask you more questions about it? When I used to train salespeople, I would always look at the sales rep and say, before we walk into this client's store, we need to turn on their favorite radio station. And they'd look at me and go, "What?" And I said, "Yep, we need to turn on their favorite radio station." "Well, what's that?" "Oh, it's WIIFM." And they go, WIIFM? I said, "Oh, yeah, it's every business owner's favorite radio station." And they go, "Huh? What's in it for me?" WIIFM. What's in it for me? That is all we honestly care about. And if you can open up your conversations with a what's in it for me, the person that's listening, I'm going to start asking you questions. If you just start out with I teach yoga, and I have never taken a yoga class in my life, nor do I want to ever take a yoga class in my life, but you start talking about calming voices in my head, I'm listening now in a way that I would have never given you the time of day if you would have started out with yoga. or if you would have started out with Reiki. Here's a couple fun ways to describe a business. One is I quiet voices in people's heads. I help people find peace with their past. In my case, I help small businesses make money. That is when I tell people I help small businesses make money, that gets me a lot farther than telling people I'm a strategic business coach. Yeah, good for you, Jane. But I start out with, do you know anybody who has just gone into business, is self-employed or trying to get a business off the ground? So I help those people make more money. Oh, well, my friend really needs to talk to you then. I open the door to conversation. I help heal pain and grief. I discover what's holding people back from being happy. How about this? I catch falling stars. I help people who have lost their dreams. I have people who are tired of what they're doing and have lost their optimism and their hope. I catch falling stars and I restore their light. I connect the living with the dead. Talk to the angels. You what? Oh, yeah, I talk to angels, they talk to me. Quite as cutesy, but I guide people to find their life purpose. I bring the light to dark places in our heart. I'm a middleman. You're a middleman? Yes, I'm a middleman between the living and your deceased relatives. I'm the middle person. Dream finder. Hi, Jane. What do you do? I talk to dead people. I help people get off the merry-go-round. I'm a unicorn tracker. I am a vibrational shifter and an energy lifter. Really? These are all just ways that when people are inquiring as to what you do or you're getting conversation, that in a fun, non-scripted way. One of my top tricks that I told salespeople was your goal when we walk into this business is I want you to get them to smile and laugh within the first 30 seconds of you opening your mouth. If you can get somebody to smile and laugh, their defenses immediately go down. Real art of mastering conversations. You always want to be the first person who says, "Hi, what do you do?" Don't be the person that somebody else is asking. Ask them first. Why? Because that way you're going to approach your business based on what they're telling you. So, number one is always ask them first. But if you are dealing with a true salesperson, you won't have that chance because they're going to ask you first because they know the same rule. If they ask me, and again, I always go on, I want people to smile, I want people to laugh. So when somebody says, Jane, what do you do? I look at them and say, whatever it takes. And then they like go, and they laugh, and I go, "Seriously, I'd love to tell you what I do for a living, but, I'm actually even more curious about what you do." I will turn it right back around them. And do you remember what everybody's favorite radio station is? WIIFM? As soon as you say, "But I'm really curious about what you do," most people, you don't have to ask them twice. "Oh, what do I do?" They're talking first, they're relaxing, they're at ease. I'm getting their information. Now, when it's my turn to talk, I can go with my question, but I can now base my question more on what I already know about them. If they're corporate, if they're in sales, if they're in the medical field. If they're in the medical field, it's like, wow. You're in the medical field. I am sure you must deal with more than your share of stress and anxiety. I bring the calm. I bring the light. I do whatever. Now I've got their attention. We're talking about them. And now I'm going to phrase what I do based on what they do. A couple of other leading questions that work along this is, have you ever wondered to yourself if there's something bigger out there that you're just not able to reach? That is a great introduction into a spiritually based conversation about what you do. I love the wouldn't you love to stop the noises in your head? I don't know a single person on this planet who says no. I like the noises. Do you know anybody who wants to turn a passion or a hobby into a business? That's one of the questions I ask people. Have you ever, or has anybody that you're close to ever felt a presence, but you haven't been able to explain it? That's another great intro into what you do. Are you finding yourself blocked? Are you stuck? Do you know somebody whose life has just kind of gotten all clogged up? This is a great introduction for somebody who reads cards because in our card reading, for most of us, our goal isn't to predict the future, but rather to coach people and guide people to peeling back the onion, looking at what's in front of them, having explore parts of their life. When you're blocked, clogged, or stuck, that's exactly what you're looking for. So when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm really feeling stuck right now. Stuck in my career, stuck in my marriage, stuck in my kids, stuck in something." Oh, well, I unstick people, and this is how I do it. And then I go on to explain what I do. You are going to find that in these conversations, there is no selling involved. There is nothing tough or nothing hard about it. You're literally just telling people what you do. And if they've got a need, which you're helping them uncover in that very first question that you're asking them, you've got a basis, depending on what the circumstance are, to say, hey, can we exchange phone numbers? I would love to talk to you a little bit more later. Or, this might not be something that you're interested now, but here's my card. This is a way to start gathering people into your circle, bringing people in, but bringing them in a way of integrity, respect, all that kind of good stuff. If you do have your own business and you're looking for help as to what to do on a day-to-day basis, I have a really cool deck that I put together called My Divine Business Oracle. And My Divine Business Oracle is set up 60 cards that let you know an activity that you need to do for your business, an affirmation for your business, and accountability for your business, such as I pulled card 18 today. It's telling me ask. People love to help, but you have to ask. Today, my job is to ask one person to help me with something that can directly influence me bringing in new customers. My affirmation card is lighten up. When something goes wrong, just yell, plot twist, and move on. And my accountability card today is priority management. Enhance your time management skills by assigning a priority rating to your tasks. Newsflash, not all tasks are priority one. The last part, because remember we had 3 C's. We had clarity, we had confidence, and I'm leaving you with a challenge. And my challenge that I am proposing is a 21-day spring into success challenge. Whether or not you are looking at starting a business or with spring, you're doing your spring cleaning, you want to get a new start, you want to start fresh. I am kicking off in April, on April 10th, a 21-day success challenge. Every single day in this challenge, you will get a short video, 5 to 10 minutes, with a lesson and an activity. In addition, there will be 4 90-minute workshops. Thank you guys so much. Please join My Divine Business Facebook group and check out my website. Feel free to text or email me if you've got any questions. All right, guys, have a fabulous day. And remember, it's Tiara Tuesday, so put your crown on.